Hi, in this video, we will have a look at Microsoft Power Apps component framework events. So when we use an event can be invoked either due to user interaction or programmatically via code. So how can we use an event inside a PCF component that sends a notification back to the parent form so that the parent firm knows that the PCF job is done, then it can do the rest of the business logic. So I will demonstrate how to invoke PCF events in this video. Okay, first I open my Visual Studio and I created a blank directory called PCF dev. Now I'm going to open my terminal here. Okay, so the first thing is we need to make our, the PCF project initialization. That's the first thing we need to do here. So for that, I'm going to do a command called pack PCF init minus minus namespace. So I'm going to put my namespace as AJB here, minus minus name, the name of the component you want to build. So here I'm going to use custom action, um, custom button event. Okay, button event, and then minus minus template field. Okay, that's the first command. So this is going to create the basic necessary framework for the PCF component. This is a React one, what we are seeing here. Yeah, right. So that's done. The next thing we need to do here is, so as you can see, it's created a subfolder called custom button event. Okay, so the next thing we need to do here is we need to go to go to that directory. Let me see the AR. Yeah, yeah, I'm in the right directory there. Then now npm install is the next command I need to execute. Okay, npm install. Okay, that's installed. The next command is, oops, I put twice that. Npm install react, the specific version I want. So make sure you need the right versions for the PCF component. Okay, once that installed, then we can pretty much start doing the development work. Okay, the next command I need to run is the minus minus save type and the DOM. So this is mainly for the TypeScript checking and the IntelliSense. Okay, so we're pretty much there now. Okay, so what I did now is, this is our manifest file. Under the manifest file, I got some properties I have added and explain what it is. So here I define the property name custom event button. So that means, we in the model driven app, we need a field to bind. So this is the one I'm going to use. The property name as custom event button. As you can see, it's a single line of text, and the usage is bound. Okay, record is false. That's okay, I think. And then I have some properties I put, like if you want to pass the parameters, you can pass the parameters like ID and the name. That's for the ID and the name here. And then this is under the PCF when we passing the event back to the JavaScript to the main form. Okay. Then the button text I put as a dynamic text. If you want to put something, then a button text color and the button color, a tooltip. And this is the most important one for the demo. That is the event. The event is on click, and that's my description key is the custom event. Okay. Then the source code path, I only got one there. That is index.ts file. Okay. So that's the basic, the manifest file we want. Right. The next thing we need to look here is the index.ts file. Okay, let me explain this. So next I created a directory called components. Then I named a file called button event.tsx file. Here I defined an interface called I button event properties. Remember under my manifest file I got ID and the name, text color, and the tooltip. So that's my interface for the button event properties I defined here. Then in the actual functional component, I pass those parameters like ID, name, text, all that. Then define the default button. This is, I'm using here the Fluent UI button. So which is, quite nice to use the Fluent UI buttons under the model driven app so that the look and feel will be pretty much the same. Then, this is the core one about the event on click equals on button click. Remember under the manifest, I got on button click. So that should be the name here. The display name key that on button click. So that's the one you are seeing here. Then I'm passing the ID and the name here as the parameters back to my JavaScript under the main form. Okay. Then I'm putting the style with the the colors and tooltip, everything defined under the manifest. That's basically it's a component. Then under my index.js file, this is a standard one. The init functionality is the same. I haven't done nothing much there. Then here under the update view, I'm getting the ID, then the name, then that button text, all that manifest details I'm getting back. Why I'm getting this error is I haven't compiled it. Once it compiled, it will regenerate those, the parameters using the manifest. Right. Then again, my parameters are defined, passing all that values from my defined, the manifest properties here. Then rendering the button event, which is my component button event.tsx file. That's basically it is. Okay. So to run this project, what we need to do here is, first of all, I need to go to the cd custom button event. Okay, this is where my project is now, and here, right. So from here, what we can do here is we can see all these components are under those directories. It's oh no, I don't need to go inside that, and I need to run the run command now, which is npm command. Okay, now I'm running the npm run build command. Hopefully, those errors will disappear now, which is all these context parameters, ID, name, button, text, all this. Oh, I got some error here, which is initializing invalid characters in closing tag. Okay, let me have a look that and find out why that error is. Right, okay, I found the issue here. What I did is I used the GitHub Copilot, paste this error and said, try to resolve it. So it said this is where the issue was. I haven't got the closing uh, tag, and there was a spelling mistake also. You can see here slash resources. Yep. Okay, now I can run that command again, npm run build. Okay, once that is run successfully, then what I could What I could do next is we could push the PCF component to the Power Platform and Power Platform environment. Okay, class conductor name does not match. Okay, let's see. Custom button event, it's called. In the index file, what it is called. Custom event button is called. Okay, I made a little bit mistake there. So this is called the custom event button. So in the manifest, this is my bad. I think I made a mistake there. Yeah, constructor should be the same name. Okay, I'm going to run it again. npm run build again. Okay, the next command we need to do here is we need to push this into our my dev environment. For that, I need to check path auth and list. So this will give me the list of authenticated where I am currently authenticated to. If you got multiple environments, you need to make sure which environment you want to deploy this PCF to. Okay, that shows I am on that's my default one, and this is the AJ dev 2 one. So the star means that's where it is pointed to. So the command I need to do here is I need to select. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say pack auth select minus minus index 1. So that is my dev environment where I want to deploy this to. Okay, that's done. So if I execute the command again, the back auth list, it should show the default one which I am going to deploy, which is my dev environment. So hopefully we should be able to see one star. There we go. That's what I want. Okay, we're nearly there. So the final command we need to put here is pack PCF push minus minus publisher minus prefix and put your prefix. Okay, that's mine is called AJB here and press enter. So once this is done, we can go to the Power Platform environment. We can see the component is deployed. And we can configure this under a model driven app. Then what we'll do is we are going to create a JavaScript to hook up this event on button click event. Okay. Okay, I deployed the PCF to my environment now. So the next thing what I did here is I created a JavaScript for the button event and explain what it is. So, this is a variable PCF button event. Then I got an onload event. Then I got another PCF button clicked event, clicked function. So there are two functions I defined. One is an onload, and then another one is a PCF button clicked. So my PCF control field name, this is the PCF control, the field I created under the model driven app where I'm going to configure my PCF button. And then I'm finding the execution context, then finding the control. And if the control is exist, I'm hooking up the on button click event. Remember the on button click should match this here under our manifest. So if I go back to the manifest, you can see the display name key, which is the key one here, the event name on button click. See that? So that's an event I, you know, specified here under my event handler. Then, the PCF button click alert. PCF button click. That's what I did here. Okay, you can pass the parameters also you want if you want. So you can use params or something. Parameters. I'm not going to do that. That is not really necessary. But if you really needed it, you can do that. Yeah. The next thing what I did is I right click the file and upload my web source to my environment. Once that done, what I am doing next is I'm going to go back to my model driven app here. Under my model driven app, I created that the defined field name, which is AJB underscore PCF custom button. That's a field I created. It's just a simple single line text box it is. Then I added my component here, configured the custom button event. Let's see the properties. The manifest properties is ID, custom button 10. I don't think it's necessary, but if just in case if you really want to track a name or something, you can do this. Then pass inside the code. I will just show you how to pass that inside the code actually, even though I haven't done that. So under my index.ts file, as you can see here, I'm passing the ID and the name here. See that? So here, whatever the name you want to pass through that, you can pass it. See that? And that's under my manifest. And then once that's done, let's go back to the label. So that's the label, the text color, all that properties and the tooltip. That's all it is, nothing else. So make sure, the key thing here is the even name should be matching with the manifest name which we defined. Let me go back to the file again here. Yeah, that is this file. So you can see it's matching with the on click event here. That is very important here. Remember that manifest is called here as event. Okay. And then that's the properties that's done. So in the demo I'll show you. When I click on this, it will show pre-CF button clicked. That mainly, basically what I did here is I uploaded my JavaScript file here, and then under the form, the event, I called that onload. I defined my the JavaScript and my PCF button event dot onload. That's a function it is. I'll take you back here to the JavaScript. You can see PCF button event dot onload. So under that, we are finding the PCF control, then hook up the add event handler. Then the event name is the function is the on button click is the event we are hooking up. And then I'm calling that function which we defined here to call that event handler, which is the PCF button click. So this is quite useful. So that means, if you got multiple PCF buttons, like you got multiple buttons here, and you want to do certain things under the parent form, under the JavaScript is a single